and we are here again for the ultimate raw vegan bundle party. And last time I have interviewed Ali for her new book, The Smoothies Recipe. And I'm gonna go on live on Instagram as well. Okay, so we are live for both everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can comment us from YouTube or Instagram. So how are you, Ellie? You just
I'm
got back home?
good.
Yeah.
Yes, we had Mother's Day dinner today because I have a lot going on with the bundle, so I had to make sure to block off some time because I'm like, Mom is important, gotta go see her. And
Oh,
if anybody's watching on my YouTube or Facebook, I have to apologize. I won't be able to see any comments because I'm doing this on my phone and it doesn't pop up through the Restream app. So hop on over to Kiko's if you can. If not, I will answer questions afterwards. So
sure.
yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I wanted to ask you, how's your baby enjoying this raw vegan party?
Loving it. Very exhausted, but also like good high vibration. And it's been amazing to meet so many new friends. And I'm just loving it. The connection is so good. And yeah, I'm definitely
Mm,
going to need a camping trip after, but I'm also going to miss going live with everyone every day. Well,
mm.
somewhat every day. So there's been some days where it's one live, there's been some days where it's like four or five. So it's definitely a lot, but baby is definitely enjoying it.
It's like, what's going on? I'm loving this party. It's like I'm all over the world now too.
Yeah, exactly. We got Australia, we've got Japan, we've
Japan.
got Thailand, we've got the Netherlands, we've got Copenhagen, Sweden, Canada, United States. I don't know if there's anybody actually in Canada right now, but like a bunch of us are from Canada, so we got Canadians.
Yes.
So,
And everyone loves Canadian for sure.
oh.
Okay, Ali, are you okay for 1 hour today, or you just want
Yeah.
to be respectful of your time?
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
If you have the time, I've got
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Yeah.
if I do start to like yawn a bit, I apologize. Baby makes me really tired after doing all this talking and everything, but it doesn't mean I'm bored or anything. Just know it's just trying to get some oxygen in.
My husband just popped by in the garden. He just did this.
Ah,
He just sent me the
I thought
heart.
you were doing binoculars. I was
Yeah,
like, what is she doing?
I think no, I just sent him back and
That is
send
so
everyone
cute.
back if it was a hurt. Yes, this bundle time is definitely. I feel like I'm gonna go nervous breakdown because there's so much going on, but at the same time, it's just such a special time, and this is the first time I'm connecting with you, so always making a beautiful new friends. Sorry, my husband is coming in, so I'm just getting distracted. But anyway, today, uh, well, we're gonna talk about my book. So
Wow.
I'm gonna share my book cover so people know what we are talking about. There you go. So Namado II Raw Journey through ups and downs. So
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about your story, your journey. You had some health battles and you've traveled to France and you've lived there. I actually have a friend from high school who lived in Nice, France, and then she came back and moved in with me for a little while. So I just thought that was so neat that, somebody else that I'm meeting has lived in France. So I'm excited
yeah.
to hear about your journey and all of that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I'll just explain what this three characters that's not in English. So I'm Japanese, and first first word is nama. Are you familiar with what nama means? because Nama became so popular in the
I
States as
was
well.
hearing you talk about it, and I
Mm.
think, is it not in the description, Raw Journey, or is it
Mm.
something?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly right. I mean, it's written in English on below,
underneath?
but
Yeah.
I think with there when the raw vegan movement started in the States, I feel like Nama they started to use this Japanese word Nama means raw,
Mm.
and like a Nama juicer.
Yeah, that's the only place I've seen it is the
Mm,
juicer. I have the
ah,
Nama juicer as well, Nama well, so I guess that would mean raw well.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think so. I mean, Nama in Japanese means raw, and
mm,
then do means journey or path. And last year, when I published the book, it was Namado, and this is the second version. So what's in the dark red is the
you
second
do.
volume. And yeah, last year was as I was looking
Mm.
for a title for my book, because it's not well, I've learned that it's not the destination, but it's the journey that matters. And I wanted to do something. I wanted to make a title that's deeply rooted with my own culture. Which so like a tea ceremony, it's called chado. Cha means tea. Do is path or journey, and there we have a lot of like many martial arts like judo or
Karate do.
yes, exactly, dojo. Yeah.
Dojo. Mm.
Right. So that's why I made it up. And I thought that it exists because this dough is used in so many things, but it doesn't exist. It's a made up word, copyrighted by Kiko. So yeah, that's yeah, again, I'm not sure if I mentioned about it, but I wanted to write it's not actually I knew I needed to write this book when I was writing the first book. And this book is not a popular um, story, meaning someone found the raw vegan journey and that was it. Their life changed completely and never got sick, never had any issues. So my story is quite different, and I dedicate it for people in the community. So it's more of a narrow community. I was thinking while I was writing. But when I shared before, um, I have some people I respect in writings, and I asked for their opinion in the draft stage, and they all loved it. They're not raw vegan, and they were inspired with my story by my story. So I feel like I'm validated that it's for everyone at the end. But my message is more for people who are in quest of this healthy life, living lifestyle, and into detox and wanting to be better and be pure.
Okay. Yeah. Be pure. So, like, did you have, tell us more about your actual journey. Like, what were you going through? How long ago was it? And your actual struggles with ups and downs. Because I understand that. I have come from lots of ups and downs. I've been raw
Mm,
for, an entire year. And then, depending on who I was around, is kind of what influenced me to, fall off my raw and go more into, cooked vegan again. And
mm.
yeah, it's just listening to the stories of ups and downs inspires me to want to write that, because I was like, would people even be interested in me falling off and hearing all of that? Because some people
I
do like
think
the fall off and they like to, like, attack
I
that, but it's more, some people find it like inspiring that, you still come back to it, right?
yeah, I wanted to write it because I was interested. I think I'm more over the years, over especially since last year, well, probably last few years, I've experienced we were bombarded with all the information now, right? And I think that's why this book is dedicated for people who have been on this journey, right? Trying to find their path. Because for me, yeah, it's great to see, oh, I never felt better, and I just feel amazing all the time with this. But this straight line to me is not as inspiring. And
Mhm.
what I've learned, because I've been on this journey for over 2 decades, right? So I thought, what I've learned meeting people face to face who are on this journey, and like I've never met anyone who's straight line, who never, had any health issues or some kind of issues after going on this path. And I was thinking, oh, maybe, people online, like influencers, their journey is different. But as I'm getting to know, I mean, I've met so many people in this health journey, and what I've learned is quite different. And I was just a little more, I was more inspired by people who has done trials and errors. And as I shared more the past year, people seem to resonate more with me when I share my downs. Yeah. So when I said that, pure and looking for, detox all the time, m- quite a few people contacted me, and they're in this, hardcore detox, like water fast or dry fast and juice fast, juice feasting. And they just go on the rabbit hole, and where is the end? Right? Like they're looking for something that I feel like it's not reachable.
Mhm.
And it just goes into punishing mode.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that's, I mean, what I've experienced. Um, it's, I dug into the medical records, and I shared a lot more details in books. So the first health challenge I shared in Namado first book. And then the second challenge was, it started around 9 years ago. Yeah, and that's when I moved to France.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like our bodies do naturally go through a detox every single day, and it has like its own cycle, and it's dependent on not just like the food we eat, but also, the words we feed it and the people we
Mm-hmm.
surround ourselves by, and the energy we output as well. Like stress, and that's a really big one. We can, eat all the broccoli and kale and do all the exercises in the world, but if we are stressed mentally and physically
Mm-hmm.
too hard, then we can actually build sickness inside of our bodies. And
Mm-hmm.
some people, like you were saying, with the water fasting or dry fasting, which is I do not recommend. It's very dangerous. um, I
Yeah.
believe if you're gonna do a serious fast like water or juice fasting, you need to be called to it spiritually, um, and not just because somebody else is doing it or because you want to lose weight or you think it's gonna heal you. Spiritually, I do believe in what like some extremes like that, but that's like a almost life or death thing where that can be the thing, but they have centers for that. And people that are doing it on their own, if they're not like guided properly, can, almost backfire on them. Because I've done a couple juice fasts and, didn't come off of it properly,
Mhm.
and I had, definitely gained the weight back, or a little bit of it. As long as I stayed raw, it was, it stayed pretty decently. But yeah, sometimes we see that on the plant-based lifestyle where people, they think that we're pure just because we eat plants and
Yeah.
we feel really good and we don't get sick as often, but we're not immune. We're not immune to everything, and there's so much more than just that can bring on sicknesses and that kind of stuff. So what you
Mhm.
talk about, what I hear is you had a couple down moments, some sicknesses happen after you went raw, and you
Mhm,
still
yeah.
stayed you still stayed on raw while you were battling these.
High raw vegan, and I've done quite a few, like mono fruits if it works, or juice fasting, juice feasting, water fasting. I've done many protocols that I shared in the book. And you know when you start doing this lifestyle, and well, especially when I started, it was very, black and white. And like, you would never catch a cold. You would never feel tired. You would wake up always excited. I mean, it's just, if you're not that, then there's something wrong in your body that you know, you should be doing some cleansing, right? And that information kind of stayed in me, and there's so many things that I started to kind of well, seclude myself also from the society, because then it was difficult to socialize,
Mm,
right? So
yes.
there are so many aspects that uh made me feel, yeah, put myself into isolation. And that's why I share, in 2004 when I started, and I felt amazing. And in few years, I started to realize that there are so many people uh, going crazy people who are doing this kind of lifestyle or diet. They go crazy because they just couldn't associate with people anymore, and they just go into like a jungle, and they just don't talk to anyone, like a pure state.
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen that, like living in Costa Rica and visiting. I also travel to Spain, and travel around the Mediterranean countries for 6 months. Yeah.
And you found people that have just wanted to become purists and basically take themselves away from people and society and all that.
Well, it's understandable at some point when you are, really sick, and you want to
Mm.
overcome some kind of sickness. You do have this phase to isolate yourself. Like for someone
Mhm.
like me, I had food addiction and eating disorder, and as much as I want to connect with my old friends, the only time we hang out is usually drinking or eating out. So I'm always tempted, and then I had so many temptation that I ended up eating something that I didn't want to. So after some trial, then okay, maybe I should just stay home. So I think there's a period, there's place and time for that. But for long term, it's so important. Like, we are social people. It's very rare, someone becoming so successful with this lifestyle for a long period of time, and thriving, right? So that, I mean, this is why one of the reason I love this ultimate raw vegan bundle, because it's a lot of work. I mean, it's just, everyone is just all stretching for this time, and it's nerve wracking, but at the same time, it's so much fun. It's so beautiful to connect. And I don't have anyone in Japan or in Kyoto that I can connect well with this level.
Mm.
uh, s- so I mean, it's beautiful at the same time that we can all connect, on the internet. You're living in US, Tennessee. right?
Mhm.
I'm all the way here in Japan, different time zone. So,
Yeah, it's been amazing being able to connect, and it can be lonely when you are going through a healing process, but it is good to have a friend or a guide or somebody to talk to during it. You know, if you like me believe in God, then yes, you always have somebody with you, but physically having somebody with you is really important too. You know, the
mm,
screens can only do so much. Like it has been filling up our cups a bit, but in person is also really important. I was talking
yeah.
with Marabella the other day about groups and having little gatherings together, and it reminded me of your cafe. And I wanted to ask about when you have that pop up, like what made you think about doing it, and how long have you been doing it for? And yeah, do you meet
Mm,
anybody there that's interested in going further with the raw lifestyle or high
mhm.
raw or even
Yeah,
vegan at all?
yeah. So I started my pop-up cafe about a year and a half ago. So I've done a lot of I've done many raw vegan demo. I've prepared a raw vegan lunch for people. I've used to have like a meetup, raw vegan meetup. I also started raw vegan community here in Japan. Um, and many people ask me, even before going raw, I used to cook for everyone, and everyone said, "Oh, you should open your cafe." And a lot of people wanted me to start the restaurant or cafe, but I could never imagine myself like just sitting in a restaurant and preparing all day
All
long.
day, every day, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I have such a huge respect for people in this business. But someone asked me a year and a half ago, and they asked me as an event. So I've done a few times, and she asked me, "Why don't you come, once a week?" And I said, "Well, I could start with once a week and see how it goes." And I shared it on my Instagram and YouTube short on where I have my pop-up cafe, and I show where it's very nice. It's right in the center of Kyoto, downtown, but it's so quiet, and people there are all volunteers. They're such a nice people. They have no idea what vegan or raw vegan means. They're a lot older people, like 70s and 80s, but they're so lovely, and they want to support. Even though they don't understand, they want to support me. So they're happy that I'm using their space so that more people would uh, get to know this organic shop and sustainable living. So yeah, I just tried, and it's going slow. It's basically local people are not interested at all. But I do have people coming from far, like even in Japan, far, really far from northern part of Japan. They would travel, and I get some reservation from the U.S. as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and some people would just walk by and they just happen to be vegan, and they're just so happy, gluten free, oil free. So there's the connection that I have with people coming into my cafe. It's like pure serendipity, and I received such a warm message after that, they how much it meant for them to find my cafe, because my cafe is not on Google. I posted on Happy Cow, the vegan app. So, but most people would just walk by, and yeah, because it's very quiet. I can talk to them one on one. So that's a very special connection. I am not making any money. I'm I'm losing money because I I do for work. I work as an interpreter and guide. So this time I'm blocking. I'm not able to work, right? but I feel it's my duty to do this.
Mm.
When I started, I wish I knew this before, that feeling. I feel like I'm so blessed to know this lifestyle, and I think most people don't understand. So you asked me if people are, interested in continuing doing this. Yes, because they are so, when they eat, they love this. They all say, "Oh, this is so delicious, and it's amazing," and I feel so satisfied, but not at all heavy. And the emails, the message that they send me after is like, I felt so amazing, I felt so good the whole day, and it went on for weeks, and I feel so great when I come to your cafe, and my digestion is just so incredible. But people forget because they have their own life, they're busy, and that's why being part of this kind of community is so important. Just connecting with people who you resonate is so important. And they always say, "Oh, I want to come to your cafe to um, revive and get more energy." I need that kind of healing energy from you. Yeah.
Yes. So everybody support her. If you're in the area, go and check it out. She shares about it on her YouTube. She's got her book that she's showing right here in her bio with the bundle, which is only available for 3 more days. 2 more days because we're in the evening of Saturday now. So we got 2 days left of the bundle, and then everything is going to be completely sold separately. So everything together combined costs over $1,500. It's worth way more than that. And all the work that every single contributor has put into this is just amazing. And everything it included is only $50 for 2.5 more days. I'll consider this evening to be a half a day. So yeah, definitely support either her, I, and our links. And I wanted to ask you about you said you had some meetups before and some groups. Do you still talk with any of them or meet up with any of them, or did they
So
come visit you at your cafe?
this was maybe 3 years ago, and um no, I don't. That actually I didn't continue that much. I don't know, maybe it went on for a month, maybe 2 months. And yeah, it wasn't the right community for me. And so, yeah, I'm no longer doing that online. They were all based in Japan. It was nice that, there are people who are um, keen on this
Cultured
lifestyle.
proximity. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was in this community was more like a detox mindset,
Mm.
which I didn't resonate. So for me, I'm very happy where I am now, where I have this online community. Most of the people are in the States or Europe, and I have this pop-up cafe that I can connect locally with the volunteers at this organization. So.
Mm. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, well, I
Mm.
know that this is a long, I just think of it as a education, like long-term education. It just,
Mhm.
it means, yeah, I'm not expecting the result of people, switching overnight. It's just,
Mhm.
people are learning something completely new. So it takes time for people to change.
Yeah, trying something new kind of
Mm.
takes a little bit, and the continuous effect of a little bit of a lot of different things can really get your body used to it and craving it, and realizing that, yeah, we don't have to be in a detox state constantly. Our body's naturally doing that, and we can just
Mm.
be in a somewhat energetic state You know, I used to think that too, that, oh yeah, if all I had was raw and high fruits and lots of greens and very low fat, that I'd be energized all the time. But there's so many energies
Mm,
from our friends, from our family, from work, from, not getting enough sleep. Even if we do feel like we don't need as much sleep, we still do.
mhm,
We still do. It'll catch up to us. And yeah, so that can really play a role on our mentality too, thinking that we have to be a certain way when we're like this. And it's like, no,
mhm,
it depends on where the food was grown and the energy from the people that picked it and brought it over. Like, it's we're all energetic beings.
mhm,
And like you said, you didn't vibe with those people in that group because they were more into detox, and they're probably stuck in that mindset, honestly, which is sad, because we do see a lot of people falling off of the just vegan in general, because they go into this purist mindset where they need to fully clean out, and they're not,
mhm,
you know fully there unless they do. And I believe that we truly are, and you just need to eat, good, healthy, whole foods. And the closer to
mhm,
home, the better. Definitely. You do get more
mhm,
nutrients if you have good soil and the farmers and stuff like that. And, a cleanse every now and then. Maybe you're feeling under the weather, you've been traveling a lot, or you just feel called to get closer to God or spirit or whoever your
mhm.
higher power is. And that can, be very beneficial. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
mhm.
I felt, I think, all for such a long journey that I've gone through and I'm going through still, I think I felt alone. And
Mhm.
I felt like there must be something wrong, or maybe I was not doing correctly. And no one eats perfectly purely nowadays. Like
Mhm.
it's just not possible. And I
Mhm.
fell off the wagon. Even if I stay vegan, I fell off, eating processed food, knowing that it would not be good for me. But I mean, I think most people go through this, because most people have this eating disorder. The food that we eat uh, is, generally speaking, in a restaurant or grocery shopping, like all the packaged food is it's designed so that we are addicted, right?
Mhm.
So
It
it's
is.
very, yeah, it's very natural that we are addicted to it. And I wrote this book, so maybe my wish is that people who are going through this journey, that they can just read my book and they wouldn't feel lonely. That, I mean, this is how I felt, and that's what I'm getting the feedback from people like, "Wow, Kiko, I feel like you were speaking to me directly, one on one." And I made it in a way that it's easy to read. It's not, so I wanted to make it intriguing. Just the story flows, so you can pick it up when you wake up or before going to sleep, and when you're feeling lonely or when you're in doubt of this journey, maybe there's something you can learn from my journey.
That's so beautiful. I love that. I love a good, easy read and a story where you feel like you're being
Mm.
spoken to. That's so beautiful. And you said you've been on this raw food lifestyle for 2 decades, 20 years.
Yeah, 22 and a half now.
Wow. So I'm curious about how you got into this lifestyle, how you got into raw and veganism, who were
Mhm.
your major inspirations, and yeah.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to mention, from someone from Instagram, live well. I bought the bundle today, so congratulations for
Thank you.
that. Yay, you're gonna love this. I want to
Yes.
also mention that because I have my pop-up cafe and I love sharing my recipe, what I create. Uh, Last year, what I bought, I was part of the bundle, and I love all the recipes from there. I shared a lot in my cafe,
I
and
saw that you did that the other day. You put, I think it was, it the Snickerdoodles cookies in
oh,
your
that,
cafe.
yeah, yeah, and then the
Oh,
cloud cacao cupcake by Lisa, that which is in the group collaboration. That was so good as well. So I sold both of them, and yeah, and everyone asked for the recipe because it's so
In
simple.
the
It's easy.
bundle.
Yeah, it's so easy. And they buy my book separately, and they buy another recipe book. That's a lot. Again, yes, $50. You can just buy the whole package.
Yeah,
But
and you
yeah, I
get
just
over
wanted to
30.
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this time I'm a bit overwhelmed, and I don't get to read everything. So
Mhm.
I share during the year, well, this is the recipe I did and I shared, or the story that I was inspired. I keep on sharing. So I hope you take advantage. Yes. So going back to your question, I so 2003, I on New Year's party, I was at my friend's place, and I met my dear friend now, Hugo. He's been doing 100% fully raw. He didn't even drink a tea because he was like hardcore fully raw 3 to 4 years in. And this was like a very cold winter, December 31st in New York. It's super cold. And he just arrived at my friend's place, and he brought um, raw vegan takeout. I don't know if you know Quintessence. It's a very famous raw vegan restaurant in New York, and yeah,
Okay.
very nice. So we ended up hanging out quite a lot in that restaurant. But so he brought this burger and chips with guacamole, and he we were doing a hot pot that day, and it happened to be my friend's birthday, Hugo's birthday. So my friend prepared a cake for him, but she knew that he wouldn't eat. But like, he didn't touch anything from the table. He just
Wow.
ate. Yeah, I mean, the cake, I was thinking, you could just try one bite. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm happy with this. So I tried the food and I was like, I mean, I was puzzled, like, it's not cooked. It's burger and chips, but it's not cooked. Like, how it's not heated? How is it possible? And I tried it, and it was really good. And I was trying not to eat too much because he had he had limited thing. But yeah, so that was the first encounter, and it's ever since then I was like, wow, it's so incredible, this raw vegan lifestyle. His life has changed completely. He If he were not had he not found this raw vegan lifestyle, he would have been in the wheelchair, paralyzed. So yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's so many incredible stories. When I went on first on raw vegan, that I was like, wow, this is it. So that's
Wow, so he
it.
could have been in a wheelchair. I can't imagine. Oh my
Mm,
goodness. That does remind me of a story of a woman that was in a wheelchair and was told she was never going to walk again. And she started taking something that I take. It's Whole Foods in capsules, and you get a variety. So there's fruits
mm,
and vegetables and berries, and they're picked at peak ripeness. They're juiced instantly. They go straight to the factory, and these farmers grow specifically for this company, and they juice it and they freeze dry it. So
mm,
it keeps as much
mm,
nutrients as possible, and it's very concentrated because it's the juice, right? So they powder it and they mix it in these mixes, the fruits, veggies, and berries, and then they encapsulate it. And people have been taking these. So you're getting 33 plus varieties of fruits, vegetables, and berries. And once people start
mm.
taking it, they start getting used to those foods and they start to crave it without realizing it because they're not physically eating it, they're just
Yeah,
swallowing it.
changing microbiome. Yeah.
Exactly. So then they start eating healthier, and this lady started walking after changing her lifestyle just because of these varieties of fruits, vegetables, and berries. And I was like, this is amazing. I love this story. Like, so it can happen with just a small, that little bit in every day. And then the body recognizes it because it keeps the nutrients.
Mm.
Technology these days is amazing. And
Wow, that's
yeah,
smart.
she was able to walk after because she went on a high living foods diet afterwards. And oh my gosh, I wish I knew the name, but that is so beautiful. So how did you like actually get into raw foods after that? Did you continue talking with him? Did you find books back
Yeah, I mean,
then?
he helped me so much. And I had an ovarian cyst, which was grapefruit size and tangerine
Mhm.
size. And I was like this, and I didn't have any symptom. uh, There's just minor symptom, but my gynecologist said that you could die, if it ruptured.
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah, so I was also dealing with severe eczema, which I think eczema was a lot more painful than ovarian cyst itself. And yeah, I was learning from Hugo, because back then there were not too many information. So I started to read the books that he shared, and I was just amazed, like, why did I not know about this? Back then I was just buying cereal that says healthy cereal or healthy ketchup or healthy whatever the processed food, right? I believed it. I never had time to look at the ingredients, right? It's like when you look at the what's in the front, the marketing pitch, and then the ingredients are completely different. So I
Yeah, it's
felt
not
like,
regulated.
yeah, I felt like I was fooled or have been in scam, scammed all my life. So yeah, little by little, I was learning from him. I was just fascinated, and I felt like, wow, it's just so amazing. I felt like all of the sudden I felt like there was a motor behind me. It's like, woo, it's just it's like, wow, it's like so much energy.
Pushing you forward. Okay. So did you heal those naturally? Do you talk about that in the book when you went raw? Did they
Yeah,
shrink on their own? You didn't have to get any
it just
surgeries or anything?
disappeared. I wrote about it on the first book. The ovarian cyst was very easy. It just disappeared completely. And even though I did have fully raw period, just like Ali, right? But I didn't stay on it. But even though I was high raw vegan, uh, I was able to manage it. For me, the combination of gluten and alcohol that caused the
Sugar and
ovarian.
wheat.
What's
Yep.
that?
Sugar, like the alcohol, the
The,
sugars
the
in it, or depending on if you were having beer or whichever, because beer also has
just
wheat or
wine.
barley in it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't drink beer, just wine and
Mhm.
like hard liquor. I was
Very
drinking a
inflammatory too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was drinking a lot. So, yeah, interesting. And, you know, it doesn't have to be raw vegan for everyone, right? Because some people, like
Mhm.
one of my recent customer coming from Oregon, such a beautiful soul. He said that his family member had MS and couldn't walk. The family went vegan. Well, of course, she went vegan as well, and it was cured within a few months. She was able to walk after, and she didn't have to go. So apparently it was the dairy and egg that made her, um
Inflame.
yeah.
And yeah.
So that's,
Wow.
yeah, there's so many inspiring stories. And
Mhm. It's stories
yeah.
like this that make me question why people don't see the correlation of healing from whole foods. Because I have a friend who has PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. So you got cysts on your ovaries, and it brings on very painful periods, plus having the stress between your cycle and the pain in the rest of her body in certain places and making it hard to do certain activities for, as strong as she wants to, or for as long as she wants to. And I try to encourage to, go whole foods, plant-based, take out animal products, do the Daniel diet, as we call it in the Bible. And spiritually, it's I feel called to tell people about it and be like, this
Mm,
is this has literally been around for thousands of years. Since the beginning of time, it was our first ever diet, was raw fruits and vegetables and herbs, that everything had seeds in it back then. And we walked with God spirit. It was the original way. And until we had that thing that we weren't supposed to have, that's when all the diseases and pain and suffering came. And then that's a whole other topic on its own. But yeah, I like to encourage people with the
mm.
stories. And yeah, I'm curious about if you remember any of those books that he shared with you, because they're probably older books, because now we have hundreds, if not thousands, of recipe books and stories. But 20 years ago, there was probably not that many out there.
Yeah, there was there are so many people who are very much advocate for raw vegan movement, but they're no longer raw nor vegan. Like
Mm.
Victoria Butenko was one of my biggest inspiration. She had this book, Green Smoothies, and she's a researcher, and she explained this really well. The whole family was in this raw vegan movement, and it was very, very inspiring. But it now apparently she's a hardcore carnivore.
Ooh.
Um, but yeah, the green smoothies I started to incorporate thanks to her. New Diet for America is a book that I really enjoy reading. This John Robin, he's the son of the Baskin Robin. I think if he's the son, yeah. And he had all the fortune and promised the future, but he just couldn't imagine, contributing to this diet, um, dairy
Fast food.
industry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that he left and he was quite poor for some time. And it was just such a beautifully written book and very inspiring book. Fit for Life is very
Yeah.
yeah, popular one. It's not fully raw, but it's um
Plant-based.
yeah, plant-based, and they've got some good recipes as well. And then grape Cure, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
This is a very old book, like very thin
Yeah.
on, detoxing
Very
and how
small.
they
Yeah.
yeah. So those are good times because now I feel like people are not reading books, and including myself. It's very rare for me to be able to finish the book. So when I write the book, I wanted to make sure that it's easy to read. Like, storytelling, it's just nothing is just stopping, like it's the story that flows. Because for me, I cannot read a book that's just what happened, like
Right.
stumbling somewhere.
Yeah. I love that. A couple of those books I do remember, Fit for Life and the Grape Cure. I never ended up doing that, but I have met people and spoken to people that have, and it can be quite intense because grapes are very detoxifying. I
Mm,
think it's the liver or something that it really like activates. And I've seen, actually, I have a chiropractic doctor friend who helped a woman that was going through pains and stuff. They have scans and everything. And I think she had gone on the grape cure, but they specifically went and got local seeded organic Concord grapes. The darkest of
mm,
all the grapes that you can find.
mm,
Seeds are very important. And I think that they either blended it all or they juiced it, one of the two, because it she just got the nutrients and it just flushed out. And the seeds were really important because then that way they weren't genetically modified. and the local was important because it's just, you know, less time to travel, you get them fresher. And she had gone back home somewhere. She had gone on to Raw afterwards because they were Raw for a little bit, and she was feeling great doing it all by herself. And then she had gone back home to whichever country that she was from, and she fell off, and her pains came back, and you know
Mm,
and then she went back to, I believe it was Canada, and you know went back on it, and you know felt the goodness, and then I think it was one more time that she went back home. I might be getting that mixed up, but yeah, got into the pains and just stuck with it until the end, basically. And it's really
mm,
sad when you have something that heals you, and then you have a guide and professional that can help with
mm,
the, you know, transition from the detox and the cleanse to the lifestyle,
mm,
because that's really important, having the information while you're cleansing, if you are going to do that
mm.
because you have something serious, is how to do the lifestyle afterwards, and to guide you, like going to the
Yeah.
grocery store, being around people, and how are you going to prepare yourself. And I love that we have stories like that. There's not just recipes
Mm,
in the bundle, there's stories that help you, you know, with situations like that, you know, wintertime in the cold, and how to prepare foods and
mm,
have enough of it, and, you know, our caloric needs, because we didn't know about that before, like how
yeah.
our specific body runs, because everybody's different. We all have different height and weight and activity levels, so we have different
Mm,
needs. And it's really good to know that, and then know what is in the food that we're eating, because it's very high volume and it can feel filling, but if you're eating lower calorie, high density, it might be filling, but you might be hungry again very soon. So then you want to
mm,
lean more towards the more high calorie dense foods, especially if you're really active. So stuff like the fruits, and then, you know, having the veggies
mm,
later on. Or if you're not as active, you know, having some of the veggies with the fat soluble vitamins, and having like a low fat or higher fat dressing later on. And we have all so many different recipes to go along with
yeah.
basically any diet, any you know, me being on the go all the time. That's why I wrote the smoothies book, was to help people find really quick recipes. And then we have more complicated ones for those that are really creative, like
Mm,
pop tarts and pizza pops and pepperonis and cabbage rolls,
mm,
and there's so many, and bread. There's so much fun, comforting foods that,
mm,
you know, kind of do take the same amount of time as the cooked versions, honestly. It's
mm,
just, you know, the time that you would spend like kneading dough if you were to do it by hand to get the most nutrients.
mm.
You
Did you
just
make
mix
the
it.
bread?
I did. I have
Mm.
some, and we were gonna go grocery shopping tonight, but we didn't leave early enough, so we'll go tomorrow, and I can get some lettuce and avocado and tomatoes,
Oh, so
and I got some
exciting.
broccoli sprouts on my counter. I'm so excited for those.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
I interviewed Christina yesterday and I made two recipe by her. Apple cinnamon crepes and the carrot celery savory cracker. And
Mm,
oh my God, the apple crepes, um, it turned out I run it too much in the dehydrator, so it's a bit too um, crisp,
mm,
but the taste is just she nailed it. It was just perfect balance. I'm very picky with taste,
mhm,
and I'm the kind of person who wants to get the perfect recipe to be able to share. Like I
mm.
don't share right away. Like corn soup that I shared in the group collaboration. I've been looking for that recipe for like few years, and finally, I say, well, I'm gonna share in a group collaboration. So it took me almost a year for me to, nail that recipe. It's very simple recipe, but oh my God, the apple crepes, I was, interviewing her and I just kept eating. It just tastes so good. It's perfect.
I'm
So
really
yeah, I
excited for that corn soup, honestly, because I've been craving corn a lot. It's very calorie dense. It's good because it is technically a grain, but it's also like you can eat it raw, and it's, it reminds me of a fruit because it's sweet, but you can
Mm,
use it like a grain. So I love that. We have there's some corn chips, I believe. There's
mm,
some pizza crust that might have some corn in it.
mm.
I've tried to look at a lot of the recipes. I get overwhelmed by it all, but there's so many that I want to do, and I'm going to keep sharing afterwards because there's only so much
Yes.
that we can do each week, right? With being on a budget. So it's like, all right, this week I want to get the corn, and last week it
Mm,
was the zucchinis and the noodles and the sauce and smoothies. Of course, I always have smoothies, so that's always on the go. And then juices are
mm.
fun if I can get a little bit extra because those take a little bit more. But now we got a garden going, so I can have my
No.
compost and put all the juice scraps
Oh.
in there, or make chips or crackers. Those are always good with like the green juice. Um
Mm,
Extra extras? Yeah, that's always good with the pulp, making like flax
mm.
crackers. Oh, so good.
So good.
Getting me hungry again for raw foods. More
I
raw.
do want to mention, so the Grave Cure, that the book that I mentioned, in that book, um I was surprised to see what he shared. He said anyone, because he talks about cleansing and detoxing, right? And fasting. He talks a lot about the fasting, and he wrote, any fools can do can any fools can fast, but it takes a wise man to uh, how do you call it, break the fast,
Mm,
something along that line. And I
mm,
just couldn't understand, because fasting to me was like so challenging, and I
mhm,
was battling with food addiction. And I said, how is it possible that it's more difficult to break the fast? And it's so true. People who are going for this 40 days, 100 days juice feast, many of them, I know, that they would just break the fast with pizza or pasta or, chips. You have to be very, very careful when you break the fast.
mhm,
I
mhm,
no longer believe in juice feast or water feast, whatever. I do believe, just like Ali was saying, that it's has to be something like deep inside of you, the spiritual calling to do that fast. And I wanted to also share that Dr. Will Bolshewick, the
Bolshevik?
fiber fuel,
Yeah.
right? I believe, and now there are more and more research coming up that how most people are missing, not getting enough fiber,
Mhm,
and that's why I love green smoothies, and I have a huge salad for lunch, and
mhm,
it's nowadays the people are just not eating enough fiber. And this was neglected for such a long period of time. Fiber, there's no nutrients
mhm.
in fiber.
People obsess over macronutrients, and they
Mm,
don't even realize what micronutrients
mm,
are. And the fact that actually fiber is more important than protein, and the more fibrous foods you eat, which is fruits and vegetables, nuts and
mm,
seeds, the the sufficient amount of protein you'll get. And I've never met a protein deficient human being in person. I've seen them, that they could be saved by giving all the grain that you're feeding the animals that you're going to eat to the humans that are, starving all over the world. Those are only people that are actually protein deficient. And there is a name for that too. And yeah, I believe in like juices being um a multivitamin. You're adding in
mm,
more nutrients that way in liquid form. Your body absorbs it a lot faster, and you get a bit more energy that way. Plus, it's living water, which I believe we talked about in my interview, in your interview with me. Um,
mm.
a while back there. It's a while now. It's about a week ago now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we've been doing this for a week. Yeah, and the living foods and hydration is so important, and the fiber is what
Mm,
our gut microbiome, our second brain, is runs
Yes.
off of. And people that
Mm-hmm.
go into the carnivore, it's really sad because there's no fiber in animal protein. And it's no wonder they have to have a high fat diet to go with that, because that's what helps it get out of your system. But
Mm-hmm.
your gut is so acidic after that, and
Mm-hmm.
anybody trying to come off of that, just like coming off of a fast, can seriously damage themselves and think, "Oh no, well I can't do that." It's like, imagine if you've never eaten a bean in your life and then you go and have a bean burger. That could be a cup worth of beans. You're going to be so uncomfortable. Like your gut is so not used to that. You'll be so bloated and gassy. It's one of those things that you need like a minimum, maximum tablespoon a day, not an entire apple,
Mm-hmm.
like a teaspoon or tablespoon of apple sauce every day or every other day to get your gut used to it, or like those juice capsules, you know, having it
Mm-hmm.
in the juice form where it's like a multivitamin basically, but a
Mm-hmm.
natural form of it where your body and your
Mm-hmm.
gut microbiome can get used to it. So yeah, with the
Mm-hmm.
fasting, it's really important, if you do feel called to do it, don't just do it without knowing all of it, not just during, but the aftermath too. How are you going to come off of it? What's your mindset going to be throughout it?
Mm-hmm.
Like preparing it is so important. When I was doing a
Mm-hmm.
juice fast, I definitely watched a lot of John, I think it was John something, but he was big on like mucoid plaque and all that. And I wasn't interested in all of that or taking any of the high fiber supplements or whatever. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why don't we just eat the high fiber
Yeah.
food to help everything flow out and get that snake out of you? It just didn't make sense to me. So, and when I started hearing about the journeys of people
Mm-hmm.
on those fasts and having to take all of that and how uncomfortable they are until it passes, I'm like, well, of course you're uncomfortable. You constantly are putting something in your body that is super high fiber, and that's the only thing that's trying to pass through until you have enough of a certain kind of juice to push it out. And it just baffles my mind. So, yeah, I'm like, if you're gonna do something like that, really see how you're gonna come off of it. And a lot of those people do still stay on it, but they
Yeah.
continue to do it, which doesn't make sense to me unless you're, trying to do it to support other people, but you really don't need it. Just add a juice in your day, have a smoothie, and then have some
Mm-hmm.
raw soup, or, even if it's lightly cooked or whatever, that's fine. Or big
Mm-hmm.
giant salads when your body gets used to it. It
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't make sense for me to do that kind of fasting when you can have the similar effects
Mm-hmm.
without spending so much money on extra
Yeah.
produce to get enough fuel, because your body needs so much fuel or you're just going to lose so much weight. um and like, when I fall off of all raw,
Mm-hmm.
and I go back to fully raw, it takes me like 2 weeks and my stomach is flat. Not like, fit flat, but like I don't feel bloated anymore.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
after
the
1 week, it's
microbiome
like the
takes
energy
time.
is there. Yeah, it takes
Mm.
time.
Mm.
It takes time. So,
Yeah. So it's been over 1 hour
yes.
already. It
Hmm.
was lovely. And I hope that there were some comments on the Instagram as well. And thank you so much everyone for joining. I felt like Ali was in my living room chatting. I could just talk over all night, with you. You have so much to share, Ali, and I'm glad. I'm grateful that you have interviewed me for my book Namado II. If anyone is interested, I'll be selling separately after this bundle. But I do hope that everyone takes advantage of this amazing, like it's mind blowing offer. Just for $50, you get my book, Ali's Smoothies book. There's $750 course of 80-10-10 mastery course. That's like really intense book course that you
by
get when
Dr.
you
Doug Graham, who's been
right.
raw for 50 years. He's in
80,
his
yeah.
yeah, he's in his like 70s or something, and he's
Yeah,
still
he started in
bodybuilding.
80s. Yeah.
No way. And he's still bodybuilding and going to championships
Yes.
and training elite athletes on this. So
Mm.
that is definitely a course you want to get your hands on, if not just for these
Mm.
few books. That course is, yeah, and a group of us are going to try from the bundle here are going to do try and do the master class together. So if you're interested in doing that with us, Kiko, I think we're going
Oh,
to
yes.
start on Monday and do that because I think there is a community area. I'm not sure. Chris might have mentioned it on our last interview where yeah, there's areas where you can leave comments and stuff like that, and that would be really cool if we were all in that. We're like, "Hey, bundle fam."
Oh, Monday. Okay, so Chris
Mhm.
is organizing it?
Maribel and I are interested in doing that, and I just welcome or give the invitation for everybody
Oh,
that we talk
cool.
to also join us because that would just be amazing to be like in school together.
Yes, would love that. So, okay, I'm gonna contact Maribel. I hope I have time. So that's Monday, your time, Tuesday, my time. Okay, well, we're gonna have this party for just 2 more days. What, 1.5 day, maybe? Is it?
I think it's 2 days. Yeah, it's
2 days.
midnight
Two.
on
Mhm.
Monday, the 11th, midnight Pacific Standard Time. So that'll be
Right.
2 a.m. my time. I'll already be asleep. I'll have to do I have one evening call with Sky. So that'll be a big party because she's a day ahead. So I think it's Tuesday for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. We're meeting people from all over the world, different time
Yeah.
zones. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it was
And so
lovely connecting with you again. Thank you so much.
mhm.
It's getting late for you. So have a
Yes,
good
it's dark
night,
over
Ali.
there.
And thanks everyone for joining. Bye.